Welcome to Docs Outside the Box podcast. This is your official show, looking inside the minds of cutting-edge and innovative doctors. Think you'll find these stories in any medical textbook? Sorry. You're getting real life insight from men and women pushing the envelope beyond medicine. Ordinary doctors doing extraordinary things. Let's start now with your host, Dr. Nee Darko.
What's good, Docs Outside the Box Nation? It's Dr. Nee Darko here with another episode of Docs Outside the Box. Not just any episode. This is going to be a solo episode. No guests. It's just going to be me and you. And I'm going to share a recent experience that I think you all can learn from. Something that I definitely learned something about. And, I oftentimes don't share my personal experiences with you. I leave that for the guests because I, in essence, feel like you all are here to hear from the guests, not just from me. But I've recently learned through some of the comments that you all want to learn a little bit more from me. And ultimately, my goal is to really connect with you all. So I'm going to share some more personal experiences with me. I'm going to share more solo episodes with you all about, what's really going on with me and what's going on behind the scenes. So here goes. So a couple of days ago, I made a phone call to LegalZoom. There's some things that I've been working on from a business entity standpoint with Docs Outside the Box podcast. And I was put on hold for a while. And then I finally got in touch with a customer service representative. And we were talking about different things that I want to get done with the company. And I needed their help on it. They queried me about the name of the company. They queried me about, where it's located, things like that. And the person said, that's pretty interesting that you have that name, Docs Outside the Box. Why did you decide to go with that? Why do you have a podcast? Like, tell me more about it. And I obliged that person. I was just like, all right, well, bet, I'll let you know about it. And literally after about 5 minutes, this person told me man, this is really inspiring. I really am really fired up about what you're doing. And let me just quickly take a step back and just flashback. I've been really inundated with a lot of stuff, whether it be Docs Outside the Box related or not Docs Outside the Box related, just things in general with business, traveling overseas to Ghana, things of that nature. And I've just been feeling like I've been underwater. And the way in which that has manifested is I haven't really had the energy. I haven't really had the positive vibes going to do more episodes. And in general, it had me at one point just really kind of doing an internal review of the show. How's the show resonating with people? Focusing on downloads, things like that. And let's just leave it to you like this. I really wasn't in the most positive place with the show. And it happens, right? We all go through these times sometimes. So after talking to this person, after the first 5 minutes, I was like, this person is excited about my show. And it just so happens that this representative is actually taking some courses at LegalZoom where it's professional development courses and helping with things with, public speaking and, just things just to make yourself a better person. And this person said that they actually are going to use, portions of my show, as a case study for the rest of the group. And I was like, man, wow. So after this, the person continued to help me work on other things to kind of get the organization, get the business going. We got that done. And what turned into something that literally could have taken 20 minutes ended up turning into an hour-long conversation where I kept talking about my business. They kept asking me about, the podcast. They were asking about the power of podcasting and what it means and why people are podcasting so much. And I ended up telling her about my show. I showed her how to subscribe. I told her about all these different podcasts that are out there. She's interested in entrepreneurship. She's interested in doing so many different things. So I just literally gave her a list of all the different podcasts that I'm listening to right now. And this person thanked me so much. And it really meant a lot to me because like I said before, I was just in a negative place with things, and I really was just like taken off guard because you just really never know who you're going to get inspiration from. Right? Whether you have a podcast where you have 1 download a year, or you have a podcast where you have 5,000 downloads, on the first day that your episode comes out, you never know who's getting inspiration from you. It's not just within the podcast realm. If you want to blog and you're worried about being perfect and you're worried about who's going to watch your podcast, and you go to your Google or watch your website and your blog and you go to Google Analytics and nobody's checking it out, you never know. Somebody may just be looking at it, and they may not look at it the day it comes out. They may look at it a couple of days later on. You never know who's watching. And the other thing too that I noticed from this conversation is I just kept giving. I kept just giving free information, positive vibes to this person, and she was saying that she literally was like on the verge of quitting her own professional course at that company just because she just wasn't seeing the results. She wasn't sure where she was going. And because I just kept giving and I kept telling my story, I kept being open about the successes that I had, the failures that I had, the thought process of, maybe sometimes I just want to just give up, but I just keep going. She used that as inspiration to keep herself going, and she was going to share that with the rest of her class. So, this is going to be a very short episode, but I just want you all to know that I too oftentimes go with or struggle with the living outside the box. It's not always sweet. It doesn't always smell like roses. I learn from my mistakes, and I really, really, truly believe that as long as I'm going to keep giving, as long as I keep telling my story, as long as I'm going to stay open about things, this show is going to continue to resonate with you all. And I hope that you all continue to share my podcast with other people. I hope that you all continue to share whatever it is that you are very passionate about, because that's the way in which we grab back our own voice. That's the way how doctors in general grab back the narrative that we're more than just a doc. So whether you have a podcast, whether you have a YouTube channel, whether you have a blog, whether there's a book that you're working on, whatever you're doing that's outside the box, keep sharing, keep telling your story, keep being open. I'm going to catch you guys on the next episode. But before I jet, remember, as always, we only got one life. Let's make it count and live outside the box. Peace.